Humanizing Technologies.
Hello and welcome to the third part of our Temi installation guide. In this video, you will get a quick guide or a quick tour through our online platform, which is part of the Humanizing Technology software, and it is called Temi for Business. The second part of the software is installed on the robot directly, and it is downloading everything what you create and design here in the online platform. First of all, please go to the URL temi.robotas.ai, then type in your credentials and hit login. On the first page, we already saw the instructions for linking the robot with your account, and we already did this. We can also find a tutorial guide here on the right side, and you will find also some helpful tutorial videos on this link here, and a full documentation about everything in detail. In the project section, you can design and create projects for your robot, and you can only run one project at a time on the robot. So design your projects for specific use cases. So here in the overview, you can create new projects on this button. You can also duplicate projects just by checkmarking one and hitting duplicate. Can also select more than one and delete, and you can see which project is running on the robot at the moment. Then let's start with creating a new project. We click on Add New Project. Here we can either choose a name and then go ahead by clicking on Add, or we use the helpful project wizard. We do this in this case. We choose the Temi robot. We give the project a name. For example, in this case, retail. And then we can choose a language for the project. I can also choose both languages, and I can choose a default language in which the robot will start. Here down below, you can choose the main two colors of your buttons and the background color of the buttons, and as well as the text color. We change them slightly, for example, to a red tone like this, and here we want to have a, let's say, yellowish color like that. And then we go ahead. In the next step we can choose a functionality. Here we have only one available, but in the future there will be a lot more. This one is a direct connection between the online platform and your robot, like a Skype call. I want to have this functionality on my robot, so I just add it to the project and go ahead. Here I can now choose what I want to have in my project. For example, slideshows, how many submenus and websites I want to show. I can now instantly create multiple buttons like this. They are, of course, more or less placeholders, so I need to design them afterwards. So let's go ahead. The project is now automatically created, and you can see that there's the service call button, the direct connection. Here we've got the slideshows we chose, and then 5 submenus and multiple websites. Everything which doesn't fit on the main screen will appear here in the archive down below. This archive will be downloaded on the robot with the project. Of course, the buttons are not visible on the screen, but they can be linked through shortcodes. So here on top, you can also change the logo, a small logo in the upper right corner. You can type in a headline, and when you scroll down a little bit, There are a lot of more settings to choose from, like a background, for example. You can upload a full screen logo. You can choose a font family for all text which is shown on the robot. Here you can choose the header if it is dark or bright, and even a header background color. So let's have a look on the functionalities. Therefore, I will just remove one of the buttons here. Just clicking on the right upper corner on the X, then choose delete and confirm. I can also move one button around by just holding it, drag and drop. I can also move it down to the archive if I don't need it here on top in the main menu. If I want to see how this looks like, I can just click on preview. You can see that the buttons will be auto-scaled and auto-centered so that they fit perfectly here inside the screen size. There are always two buttons, like the humanizing logo on the right lower corner, and as well as the Earth symbol on the left lower corner. The Earth symbol is only shown when you have two or more languages active. As we have English and German, when you have only one language running, then this button will disappear. And here on the right lower corner, when you click on it, small window pops up where you can enter your password, and then you enter a hidden menu where you can update your content later on the robot. So now let's create a new button. Just click on an empty space here, choose new element, and then you can choose out of 4 different functionalities. First of all, we begin with a slideshow. A slideshow is like a presentation where the robot shows one picture on the screen and you can let it say something while the picture is shown. This would be the first button here, so I just click on it and an automatic form is created, and here you can just click anywhere inside and you see that there pops up a menu bar where you can choose from and where you can change the design here of the screen. There will be always a header bar on top of this frame of this picture. So when I choose, for example, an image, but just by clicking on the background and then clicking here on Edit Image, my media library here on the left side will be opened, and I can either upload a new image from my computer or a new video from my computer, or I choose just one from the existing ones like this. And down below is the script for the robot. And while the picture is shown, the robot will then say this out loud. Here in the script for the robot to speak, you can add different shortcodes. There are existing multiple shortcodes to link between elements as well as to change the way the robot is talking. For example, when you add an hashtag, then you can change here or add a shortcode by just starting to write with a character like S, and you get a drop-down menu of all available functionalities. For example, adding a sound or doing a service call, changing the speed, and so on. You can add shortcodes which will link from one element to another. So, for example, I use an add to link to an other element. Probably nothing will be shown right now as I don't have any other elements saved yet. To create other elements or to create other shortcodes, you need to save the element first. You see that here we can give this slideshow a name. We change this to test and then we click save. And underneath this test title line, you can see that the shortcode is now created. The shortcode starts always with the kind of the element, so it begins in this case with slides, and then test for the name of the slideshow. And here we can now use those links just by starting with the kind of element, in this case slides, and you see that in my drop-down menu the link to this element will appear. For now we don't use those shortcodes, but I will come to this later again. You can add more slides just by clicking on the button below and give them, for example, background colors. You can add headlines here and write inside. You can even change the layout of your slide, and just by clicking anywhere you can choose between the multiple functionalities inside the menu. When you want a robot to ask something inside one of the slideshows, just add a question. So, for example, you could ask, what do you want to see next? And then link to other elements of your project. You can here add new buttons down below. Just type in some text, for example, entertainment or new product, and so on. Home and feedback, for example, like this. So then you can link your elements or your buttons to other elements just by entering something here. If we would have a submenu for entertainment now, we could link to the submenu by writing down sub for submenu. Let's create quickly a submenu and a new product slideshow in between. So we save this, jump one step back, and here we have, for example, a submenu. So I just click on it, and here I rename my submenu to entertainment, save it, and like before, a shortcode has been created automatically, beginning with the kind of slide of the element and then the name of the element. And here I can now add some entertainment stuff, for example, funny slideshows, funny, interesting things, whatever I want. I save this, go back, and now I want to add or change a slideshow, like for example this one, to new product. And here again I can create some information about a new product just by adding pictures, let the robot say something to this picture, and I'm already done. Then here in my first slideshow, I can now scroll down again and choose the submenu in my list here. Same goes for new product. I can also start writing just the name of my slideshow, and you can see it will find it automatically. For home, we have created a check mark, and for feedback, we have created a new button down below here. So I just choose next slide. And of course, I can make the robot say the text here out loud as well. So I just copy and paste this in my speech text line as well. Then I add a new feedback slide down below and let the robot ask, for example, how did you like the slideshow? And then he can rate 1 up to 5 stars. When you click again here in the stars line, you can pick another icon if you want. You can change the color, make the robot say always what he shows on the screens. It is more user-friendly. And you can even let the robot thank the customer or the person in front of it for giving a feedback. The add break is not needed anymore, as you can add breaks by using shortcodes. Just hit the hashtag and then start writing pause for pause and add here a pause in milliseconds, for example 500, to add a pause of 500 milliseconds in between. But if you want to add a break, you can do it as well with this button here, and then just type in the amount of seconds. For example, here 5 seconds, then this would be a break of 5 seconds. Here again, everything is drag and droppable, so you can also put this break up in between another two slideshows, in between other two slides, like this. So in between the end of our presentation and the beginning of our question, there would be a break of 5 seconds. And last but not least, there you will find the Add Location button. If you have added a map or created a map for the robot and you saved up some locations, then you can use those locations to let the robot navigate in between the slideshow. So just take the same names you have for the locations inside here, for example entrance, and then again you can move this, or when you already know it from the beginning, then you can of course create it step by step. You can also choose if the robot should display the next element while driving or when it has arrived at its position. So this is the slideshow. A very powerful tool which with you can do a lot of different things. So the next two elements or three elements are a submenu, website, and service call. Submenu is more or less self-explaining. You get 8 new buttons, can change the background of the submenu. We have already done this in the entertainment submenu. The website is self-explaining as well, but for now I just show it to you. You give it a name in the first step, like humanizing website, and then you enter the URL inside here. Please always use the whole URL with HTTPS or HTTP in front of it. I just copy and paste this inside and the robot will start the website. While the website is shown, of course, the robot doesn't say anything, but the website is fully functional, and so be careful what you show on the screen, because we cannot forbid any websites. Anything would be accessible. We save this and jump back. And now we can see that these buttons look very different than our newly created buttons. If we want to get the same design of the buttons, then we click here on the small pen. We have also a small check mark down below. Apply the styling to all current buttons. So when I do this and save it, my created buttons will take the same design as we have for the other ones. Of course, here I can add now an icon as well. You can change the text here. And here, for example, we have the slideshow, and in the other one, we have the website. So this was the creation part of our project menu. And like you see, everything is very easy to use. So the next step would be loading our project on the robot. Therefore, we go one step back to the projects list, and then we choose the project we want to download on the robot. Here I want to download the retail project, which we have created, and I just click on the robot head right next to it. Then I will be linked to the robots list, and here I can find now the robot we have connected with our online account. If you have more robots, they will be listed here, and I can now choose this robot to load the project on. Now the project is assigned to my robot, and when I download it, or when I want to download it on the robot, I can in the future click on this button here to do it remotely. In the meantime, you would need to go to your robot, then go in the hidden menu, and then just click Update Content. So that's everything about the installation of the robot and its software. I hope you enjoyed my videos, and hopefully we see each other in the next ones. Bye bye.